Right now at 10, rising lake levels becoming a cause for some concerns for those living along the water. Plus, after days of searching, the body of a missing teenager is pulled this afternoon from an area lake. And later, President Trump making a trip to the Midwest tonight. What he had to say at tonight's rally in Duluth, coming up.
This is News 3 at 10.
Thanks for joining us tonight. There is another slow-moving system approaching Wisconsin, likely to add more rain to an already waterlogged state. In Dane County, leaders are hoping to limit the damage from the recent rain. They have declared slow, no-wake restrictions for several lakes, including Lake Monona, Lake Wabisa, and Lake Kaganza. Amy Reed talked to people living along the shorelines of Kaganza, and Amy, they're just basically waiting to see what happens.
That's right. There's not much they can do. The county is doing some mitigation, but as water seems to get higher and higher, they're getting nervous. The water on Lake Kaganza is a little too high.
I like the water a little high, but this is ridiculous.
For Rick Thorstead.
It's getting the water at the end. It's up to here, now it's up to here.
It splashes over his docks and right up to his boats. Too high even for them.
I can't get the boat down low enough to get it out. So I think we're stuck. We're stuck on the lift until the water goes down.
The county says they're trying to fix it. The dams are open and workers are clearing out vegetation and sediment to help drain the water, even instituting a no-wake order for the lake.
We are worried about it and trying to do the best we can.
If the giant sign "Slow No Wake" for the entire lake wasn't enough to deter you, this flooded dock might. Once your boat's in the water, you might have a hard time getting your whole crew past this one. Just because it's too much for boaters doesn't mean it's too much for a bike.
Gotta get my exercise.
He's not worried.
Through the water? Well, this is where I always bike. I live in the neighborhood here, so I always come down here and bike.
He said this water is nothing compared to what's up north. But for the people living along the shore, the nerves are just starting.
We're not in trouble yet as far as the shoreline, but as far as being flooded, but it's got to go down.
Now, Rick told me there's still a few feet of water before his home is damaged, but they need dry skies to keep it from happening. Otherwise, the county may not be able to drain the lake quite enough to keep up.
All right, Amy Reed reporting tonight. Amy, thank you. Governor Scott Walker has activated the National Guard to help with recovery efforts following this weekend's destructive flooding in northern Wisconsin. Portions of the state saw as much as a foot of rain. Ashland, Bayfield, Burnett, Douglas, and Iron counties remain in a state of emergency. The flooding and storms have resulted in at least 2 deaths. Madison leaders are preparing for the possibility of flooding as lake levels continue to rise. Free sandbags are being offered at several locations. All you need to do is bring a shovel. We have this list of all 7 locations on our website, channel3000.com. And let's get a look at our forecast right now. Here's meteorologist Karen Swanson in the Weather Center with the latest. Karen?
Well, the good news is that so far this evening, we've missed out on the heavy rains. Much of that heavy rain has been across parts of eastern and northeastern Iowa, where some areas have seen 2 to 3+ inches of rain quickly accumulate. We have had a few showers here across the southern part of the state, and we'll continue to see some of those rain showers make their way into southern Wisconsin as we head through tonight, with some of that wet weather sticking around into tomorrow as well. Temperatures right now are in the 60s to near 70 degrees. We're at 68 degrees in Madison, as well as in Janesville, 67 in Wisconsin Dells, but still 71 over toward Boscobel. By early tomorrow morning, those temperatures are down to the upper 50s with highs right around 70 in the afternoon, so looking like a cool day. And along with that, you'll need the raincoat or the umbrella. We do have some scattered showers and a few isolated thunderstorms in our forecast. There is some sunshine in the extended forecast, though. We'll let you know when to expect that coming up in a few minutes.
Karen, thank you. If you are away from your TV as this next storm moves into Wisconsin, check out our free Channel 3000 weather app for the latest forecast on the go. It is free right now in the App Store. An update to a story from last night. A silver alert is being expanded statewide for a missing man. The silver alert is for this man who was last seen in the Toma VA campus. 70-year-old Michael Bates. He left on foot around 11 o'clock yesterday morning. Police say he took a cab to the Amtrak station, but he didn't get on a train. Investigators believe he may be hitchhiking. The search for a missing teenage boy is now over. 13-year-old Sean Wolfarth went missing on Sunday when his family went out on the lake for a Father's Day family gathering. News 3's Jamie Perez joins us with an update from today. Jamie?
Charlotte, this has been quite the search effort from so many crews in Portage. 13-year-old Sean Wolfarth was found this afternoon shortly after 4 o'clock. Crews saying this week's drastic weather conditions on top of the murky lake made this search tough, but what was even harder for them, what was the emotional toll it took on everyone involved.
We've been scanning this whole area for the last 4 days, but we were to find them about 50 yards out from the front of this pier here that you see in front of us.
Silver Lake now at a standstill as a tiring search for a missing boy is over.
That was 4 days. It got to be a lot of highs and a lot of lows.
4 days of search crews teaming up in these murky, chilly waters to find Sean Wolfarth.
This was an incredibly tough search. The lake is very deep in the middle, but between the shoreline and the deep channel, there is a very thick weed bed, which was very difficult to scan with sonar.
An effort that would bring some closure to his family.
I can't imagine how they're feeling, especially the 4 days, of us searching, working long hours to try to recover their loved one.
Standing by on the shoreline, watching every move, every effort made to hear that call, to hear they found him.
We located him immediately after we talked to the family.
With the help of sonar and radar search from Bruce's Legacy Search and Recovery, Sean's body would finally surface. A valuable lesson learned from search crews, beachgoers, and city officials as they now work together to ensure this can't happen again.
We're definitely going to meet with city officials and everybody that needs to be in that meeting to make sure that we make this a safe environment so families can enjoy this place.
Now, through the valiant efforts by the search teams, there were 2 divers and 1 firefighter injured in the process, with minor injuries on top of several pieces of search equipment that were damaged in the lake. Sean's body is now with the medical examiner at the Columbia County Sheriff's Department.
Jamie Perez following this developing story tonight. Jamie, thank you. A camper is recovering tonight after a tree fell on their tent at Governor Dodge State Park. This happened yesterday morning at the Hickory Ridge Campground. Dodgeville fire crews were able to free the camper from the tree and was taken to the hospital. That person's condition is unknown. An Oshkosh woman is being charged tonight for helping 2 inmates escape a minimum security prison this week. Police arrested 31-year-old Leslie McCullough on suspicion of aiding a felon last night. Officers say she drove the car from Oshkosh to Mazomanie, where the 3 were stopped around 6:30 last night. The 2 fugitives, 27-year-old James Heather and 25-year-old Alexander Weinman, escaped from the Winnebago Correctional Center in Winnebago Monday night. All 3 have been booked into the Dane County Jail. $1.9 million is being awarded to 19 Wisconsin school districts today, all to be dedicated to safety upgrades. Of the districts announced today, Madison was awarded the most, $993,000. The district already has plans to use this money to upgrade the locks on their doors. Many doors in the district don't lock from the inside, and teachers must go into the hallway and use a standard key to lock it. In total now, 40 districts have received grant money, and many more will come in the coming months. House Republicans are planning to take up 2 immigration bills tomorrow to address the controversial family separation policy. Under increasing political pressure, President Trump signed an executive order this afternoon allowing parents and children to be detained together for 20 days while the adults wait for trial for entering the U.S. illegally. But after that, they must still either be deported or separated. Well, after signing the executive order, the president made a trip to the Midwest, holding a campaign-style rally in Duluth, Minnesota. He roused crowds by naming some of his accomplishments of his presidency and discussed immigration.
Today, I signed an executive order. We're going to keep families together, but the border is going to be just as tough as it's been.
More than 2,300 children have been separated from their parents at the border since May. It is unclear how long it will take for those children to be reunited with their loved ones. Governor Walker is also continuing to defend his decision to send about 24 Wisconsin National Guard troops to Arizona to help increase safety along the border.
Members of the National Guard are down there in a support role for the Arizona National Guard. They're not involved in law enforcement. They're not, as it specifically states in their policies, they're not involved with illegal aliens or with people or detainees or others seeking entry into the United States. That's not their role.
The announcement came on Monday. The governor says people are turning this into a political battle when it's not. A new Marquette Law School poll shows State Superintendent Tony Evers is in the lead as the Democrat to take on Governor Walker in November. Of those who plan to vote in the Democratic primary, 25% would choose Evers. The 9 other Democrats are all in the single digits. Former state party chairman Matt Flynn, activist Mike McCabe, and Madison Mayor Paul Soglin are behind Evers, but 34% said they don't know who they would vote for.
But we see that no one in the field is known at a high rate. Tony Evers is the best known, and 61% say they don't know enough about him to have an opinion.
The same poll asked registered voters their views on the Foxconn plant coming to Wisconsin. 46% of people surveyed think the state is paying more than the Foxconn plant is worth, while 40% believe the plant will provide as much value as the state is investing in it, if not more. 13% don't know how they feel. A redesign of a busy intersection meant to boost safety is concerning some business owners. City alders approved a redesign at the intersection of John Nolan, Willie, Wilson, and Blair Streets. Their aim is to reduce congestion and the number of accidents there. The plan includes adding left turn lanes, rerouting a bike path, and moving the entrance of a local shopping center farther away from the intersection. One business owner says that will make it difficult for patrons to get into his bike shop.
Well, obviously, it's not good for business. Like anybody who has their street torn up in front of their business, it's not a good thing. So we hope we can still get good access for our customers in and out.
A budget for the plan still needs approval this fall, and if all goes as planned, construction will start in 2019. Still ahead tonight, a preview of this weekend's Shake the Lake, and a new grant is awarded to the city of Janesville, how it's going to help with the demolition of the old GM plant. Today, Janesville announced a $500,000 grant to help with the demolition of the former General Motors plant. The grant was awarded by the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation. It's part of the group's Idle Sites Redevelopment Program. Officials say they're excited for the potential of the former plant.
With incredible infrastructure, including 2 rails, water, other utilities, and vehicle and truck access, the assets are in place to make this an excellent site for future industrial production.
The construction is slated to last through June 2020. Then the land will be sold to developers. We are just 3 days from the annual Shake the Lake event. For the 4th year, it will happen downtown between Broome and Blair Streets. The free event, which happens this Saturday, starts at 5 o'clock and will feature live music, food, and family activities. It will conclude with the Festival Foods fireworks show on Lake Monona at 10 p.m.
This is really a community event. We do this for the city of Madison, and we're honored to be part of the team that puts on one of the state's largest fireworks show, and even more proud to make this a free event for our community.
Also a note for boaters on Lake Monona, with the high water levels, there will be a 24-hour slow no wake starting 12 o'clock Saturday morning. Meteorologist Karen Swanson joins us now, and of course we're hoping for a really good weekend with, let's just hold off the rain for a while.
I know. We've had a lot of rain the last couple of months, but we do have still some rain in the forecast through about Friday. Only a slight chance as we head through this weekend. So hopefully the fireworks will be good, and anyone getting shot out of a cannon like you saw in that video, hopefully they'll have some good weather for that too. We do have some showers on the map tonight, some flashes of lightning in parts of the region as well. Most of those flashes right now are off to our south. Some of the strongest storms have been to our southwest and down to our south this evening. And as they've made their way in our direction, you can see how they've been kind of falling apart. So just some scattered showers here across southern Wisconsin. Also notice the rotation, those showers rotating right around an area of low pressure that's going to be sliding very slowly to our south for the next couple of days. So continuing to bring some of those rain chances here to southern Wisconsin. Now here's a look at what's happening right now. We do have still some showers and thunderstorms off to our southwest. Some of those will be making their way here into the southern part of the state as we head through the overnight. In fact, over the next 3 hours, here's our future Doppler track showing those rain chances increasing. And we'll continue to see some of that wet weather into tomorrow with some rain chances on Friday as well. As far as our 12-hour rainfall estimates, you can see some of those heaviest totals have been off to our southwest and to our south. Some areas near Davenport as well as near Cedar Rapids reported some flash flooding earlier this evening. Here across the southern part of the state, we've had some spots that have stayed completely dry, other areas that have seen some of that light rain. And here in Madison today, 0.07 inches of rain, so adding on to those totals, now up to 4.77 inches for the entire month of June. Normal, or the average for the entire month of June, is 4.5 inches of rain. So we're above that, and we still have about a week and a half to go. It does start summer tomorrow. Tomorrow's the first day of summer. It officially begins at 5:07 in the morning. It's the time of the year when we have the most daylight. The sun is directly over the Tropic of Cancer, and right now it's looking like another cool day to start our summertime. Our time lapse today for this final day of spring shows the clouds overhead, also some low clouds at times with some of that drizzle and some fog, a few patchy showers moving through from time to time. 73 and 62 our temperatures today. Normals are 79 and 58. Right now it's 68 degrees. Winds are out of the east at 10 miles per hour. Cooler over toward Lake Michigan tonight. Elsewhere, some upper 60s and low 70s showing up across the rest of the region. We do have some of those coolest temperatures through the Great Lakes region, still warmer off to our south. And that's south of this nearly stationary boundary. This area of low pressure is going to track right along it very slowly over the next couple of days, bringing some of those shower and isolated thunderstorm chances to southern Wisconsin all the way through Friday. We start to dry out into the weekend as high pressure moves in, just an isolated shower or a thunderstorm chance through the weekend. Scattered showers tonight with a low of 59 degrees. Tomorrow we're back to 70, so staying a bit cool. Some breezy winds out of the east with those showers and some isolated thunderstorms. Here's your future track forecast through the night, showing some of those scattered showers making their way through the southern part of Wisconsin, hanging on to some of that wet weather tomorrow as well. And we continue to keep those rain chances around as we head through tomorrow night and into Friday. As far as precipitation potential So this is the latest model run showing some of those lightest totals to the north and east, some heavier totals possible into southwestern and southern Wisconsin. That's the area that's going to be closer to that frontal boundary as well as to that low pressure system. So we keep those wet weather chances into Friday, then looking overall mainly dry for the weekend. Just a slight chance of a shower or a thunderstorm mainly on Sunday. Dry for Monday with some of those wet weather chances returning by later Tuesday into Wednesday.
Okay, summer begins 5:07 in the morning.
Be ready.
Oh.
Are you going to get up and...
might do some fun little ritual tonight before I go to bed.
That works
so
too.
I can just sleep right through it. All right, thanks, Karen.
You're welcome.
Steve Stricker welcomes a strong field to this year's American Family Insurance Championship. That story coming up in sports.
The Brewers are headed home again. They'll play the St. Louis Cardinals to start a 4-game series at Miller Park tomorrow night. They were scheduled to play their final game in Pittsburgh tonight, but just before the game started, the skies opened. It pretty much kept raining for the next 2 hours, so no game tonight. It'll likely be rescheduled Thursday, September 20th, when the Brewers return to Pittsburgh and the two teams have a mutual day off. At Wrigley Field this afternoon, the Cubs play well again. They beat the Dodgers 4-0. Kyle Schwarber hit this long homer to help the Cubs win. Right now, the Cubs are just percentage points ahead of the Brewers for first place in the National League Central. Still some changes in parking right now because of all the rain in American Family Insurance Championship at University Ridge. Hopefully, they don't get too much more before the first round Friday. Steve Stricker is the tournament host, and his wife Nikki will be his caddy again this weekend. And this appears to be the strongest field in the 3-year history of the American Family Championship. Bernhard Langer, defending champion Fred Couples, and Vijay Singh among the 78 competitors. And Stricker says it's pretty cool to have such a deep lineup at a tournament in his hometown.
Players that are coming are responding because we got a better field, it seems like, this year. And so it's been, knock on wood, it's been very exciting for us to see the growth in this tournament. And, you know, I can't say enough about our community standing and getting behind this event and supporting it the way they do. So it's very special to be and see and take part of all this.
First round tee times are out, and Stricker will play with Singh and Davis Love III Friday starting at 9:50 a.m. off the first tee. Jerry Kelly has a 10:10 tee time with Miguel Angel Jimenez and Kenny Perry. Love and Stricker know each other well from their Ryder and President's Cup experiences, and at 54 years old, Love says he knows what he'd tell an 18-year-old Davis Love III.
I would certainly put a lot more time in the gym on the physical side, which I have to do now. You know, I arrived at 7 o'clock at the airport and at the hotel at 8, a light dinner, and was in the gym last night trying to get loose from traveling. Things like that. I had no idea I needed to do that when I was 18 years old, so I'd focus more on that.
The NBA draft is tomorrow night. The Milwaukee Bucks have the 17th overall pick in the first round. With the 17th pick, you can get a Sean Kemp or a Jermaine O'Neal or a Zarko Kabarkapa, like Phoenix did, 17th in 2003. What would the Bucks like with number 17 tomorrow?
Shooting will help us. Defensive toughness and rebounding would help us. Guys that have positional size will help us. So different things like that are different attributes. But at the end of the day, we want a player that can come in and impact our roster. It's a valuable roster spot for us.
And Karen's here with a final check of your forecast.
We have some scattered showers across the area tonight. Those will make their way into southern Wisconsin. And we do have some wet weather coming up in our forecast tomorrow and Friday as well. But after that, we should start to dry it out for the weekend. We do have some sunshine in our Saturday forecast. A slight chance of a thunderstorm on Sunday. Looking warmer for the weekend and into next week as well. In fact, the humidity is going to start to creep back up toward the middle of next week.
Okay, just enjoy what we've got.
I guess so, yeah. Some Mother Nature air conditioning tomorrow.
Happy summer tomorrow. Have a great night. Do something good. We'll see you tomorrow.